Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to another short update here on Money Discourse. And today I want to talk about one name, that's HKD, that's AMTD Digital. Now, I'm sure pretty much anyone who was trading the market today or was looking at the market saw this name. Absolutely bananas move. In fact, just around 2 weeks ago, this name IPO'd at around $7.80, traded to a high of 2,500. Absolutely bananas. Now, the thing is, what we're going to try to look through in this video is just to try to decipher what's been going on, if there's anything we could see that may be leading to the move. And obviously, this stock is in line with a whole bunch of Chinese IPOs which have come to the market lately, which come to the market with a very low float. Now, what it is, this means that there's an overall outstanding share amount, but the amount they actually float to the market is a small fraction of the overall shares that are available to float. So what happens is that a small percentage of the total outstanding float gets floated onto the market. It's such a short amount. Small volume can really dictate the stock and make it go flying higher, flying lower. And the thing is that I've seen many Chinese stocks recently that have IPO'd under this method, where a small 4 or 5 million shares come to market in the grand scheme of things, where it only represent a small percentage of the overall outstanding float. And then what happens is that it IPOs at like $5, $10, and it goes to 50, 60, 70 before it comes down to where it's supposed to do as more shares enter the market. But this one has been different because the gain has been astronomical. Just to put it into perspective, like a $1,000 investment would be worth over 250 grand at one point today, which is crazy. No one would probably have bought and held for that long. But let's just delve into it and look at a few facts about this company and where the hell it's going and why it's even doing what it's doing. So first of all, so what I've done here is I've gone to the company's website and brought up the filing that they did for their IPO. And as you can see, AMTD Digital, they came to market 16 million ADSs. Those are the American Depository Shares, the ones that are trading in the US. Now, they represent 6.4 million Class A ordinary shares, so that must be their native shares. And right now, every 5 ADS represent 2 of their Class A ordinary shares. So we see this is the offering amount that they did a couple of weeks ago in their 424B filing. And if we scroll down to try to figure out what this company actually even is, well, let's just look at this. The price was $7.80 per ADS, and they raised a total of $124,800,000, which ain't a low amount in fact, this is the largest IPO by a Chinese name in quite some time, I believe, from what I've been reading. So they did raise just under 125 million, but today their valuation got higher than Facebook at one point, trading over $400 billion, which is crazy. But anyway, let's try to see what AMT Digital does. It is a one-stop digital solution for platform in Asia and a fusion reactor for great minds and ideas. So pretty fluffy right there. They have something called their SpiderNet, which basically aligns themselves with client shareholders, business partners, and investee companies to build an ever-extending interconnected network which creates value for all stakeholders in our ecosystem. So again, I mean, very, very wishy-washy. This is a bit of their management, and just taking a look at some of their metrics. So if we look here, they in 2019 generated their revenue increased from 14.6 million Hong Kong dollars at the end of 2019 year to 167.5 million at the end of 2020, and then to 196 million at the end of 2021. And year to date, they are currently at 168 million, which is 21.5 million US dollars for the 10 months to February the 28th. and their net profits have increased significantly from 21.5 million in 2019 all the way to 186.8 million for the 10 months ending February 28th, which seems to be higher than their revenue. But anyway, that amounts to 23.9 million. So that's perfect sense for why it should be worth $400 billion. But anyway, I digress. So this is their strategy. Right now, it's about just under 8 Hong Kong dollars make $1 right now. So this just goes on, their whole business plan and everything like that. So, there's a lot of reading there. But again, nothing here sort of justifies any means as to why the stock is trading where it is. But so when I talked about float, 16 million shares we saw in this filing that came to market. And if we actually look, this is on FinWiz, the amount of shares outstanding is actually 185 million apparently. So I've seen loads of different valuations that this company is apparently, but this is basically 10% of the outstanding float is actually floated. So only 10% of shares are on the market right now. And we actually traded a high of just over 25,000 and we settled at around just under 1,700, which gives it a market cap of 311 billion. So pretty wild. So the street.com had a pretty good article summarizing that and pretty much what we just went through. It tries to summarize what the company is, the amount, and it tries to sort of find out, if there's anything more to this company than meets the eye, and going through it all, pretty much there isn't. They did raise 125 million, which was the largest listing by a Chinese company in 2022, and it owns the SpiderNet platform, which we mentioned. And we look at it, and then they come out that at one point it was a 45th largest stock in the world by market cap. And then as the day went on, they actually risen to the top, I can't remember, was it top 15 or top 20? But the market cap at the time of this writing was 387 billion, placing it just below Exxon in size and companies like Walmart and McDonald's. And but the company only has 51 employees and is currently owned by AMTD Idea Group. Now, they're a conglomerate group that has many other businesses under their wing. They IPO'd this company, and so AMTD Digital, now AMTD Idea, which trades on the ticker AMTD, rose sharply on the back of this moving up so much. And we'll go through the charts on that in a moment. But this is talking about some of the revenues that they went through, the PE ratios and everything. But again, doesn't justify anything. Now, here is the chart of HKD, which is AMTD Digital, IPO'd at around 780, and then it pretty much stayed flat all the way to last week, basically, July the 28th. And there we had the big move to 180. Then it went to 400, 742, and today to a high of 2,500. So the thing is that with all of these stocks, you've got low float. But the real interesting thing about this, the volume is really low as well. Like today, we had less than 350,000 shares that traded. We have an averaged out since their IPO 1.3 million shares. Now, considering that their share float is only 19 million shares, we're not even trading, like today, we didn't even trade like 5% of their shares outstanding, the share float, actually. So we didn't even trade 5% of it, but yet the market just gone parabolic. And so obviously we've had a lot of these short sellers here, and then due to probably the liquidity in this company, probably $50, $60 wide, and there's probably so little liquidity that it's easy to push up this market. And because of that, these short sellers are getting margin called. I mean, you're looking at someone who's shorted, let's just say in the 400s, 400% offside, and having margin calls and have to liquidate that market, which is causing these price spikes, as you can see, 2,500. So the thing is, this has been incredibly painful for the shorts. As always is the case when you have such a low float stock going parabolic like this and pretty much, just blowing out their book. And the thing is that, again, there's not much volume pushing this higher. But the thing is, as it keeps on creeping higher and so little offers on the market, which is pushing this market even further, you're seeing this exponential move to the upside. Now, AMTD, which I mentioned before, which is the parent conglomerate of HKD, you can see this company has been trading for a while, but it's been trading mid $1 for pretty much 2 months. And then we started to get this move higher. We went to $2.20. And as HKD went up, we had this huge move up to $12.20 on AMTD as well. And today we settled at $7. So this is what's been happening in AMTD. Now, if we look at some of the volume that's been going on in this name, we IPO'd at $7.80. We had 312,000 shares initially at $16.21 where it closed. And at $27.80, we just had just over 800,000, then over 2 million on the 19th. Back to low volume on the 20th and 21st before we had 2.5 million shares pushing it up to 68. 1.23 million. But either way, at no point did we trade any more than 20% of the share float for this company. So despite this, this just suggests that, as we could probably suspect, that there is very low liquidity on the bids and offers, and that very little money is pushing this market exponentially higher. And short, who probably got in, as we went from $7.80 to $56.80, they're getting pushed out as it keeps on going to 400, 742, 1679. So we can see that's 400,000 shares traded there, 350,000. Now, obviously, 350,000 in volume times 16, almost 17,000 average price is huge in terms of monetary volume, but the actual share count is low. So the thing is that eventually, let's face it, this is going to go back below 100 as, the short sellers get cleaned out and they're flushed out into the market. And then after that, we'll see more shares coming onto the market. It's inevitable that AMTD will do a further offering if, this price stays on at this amount. So why not totally make the most out of what is going on? But as you can see, it's absolutely crazy. Sometimes you get moves like this in the market that just make absolutely no sense. But this is just the market we're in. I mean, we see the move in this did move some of the meme stocks higher. We did see AMC trade up towards 17. GameStop also moved. And see, this was the move that AMC holders were looking for last year, like that big short squeeze that pushes up to 1,000. But remember, at that time, we did see Robinhood pull the plug and take away the buy button. But on this case, as you can see, I mean, it's not really happening. But again, it's not a very widely traded stock. It's just a fascinating move. It's very difficult to trade. The float is so small. Anyone who's long, who doesn't get in and out really quickly, pretty much is going to be taken into the cleaners in this particular stock. And so I suspect our next pod that we'll do, that we'll see it back below 1,000 and slowly trickle down over the next month back below 100 and then take its rightful place where it should be trading. But for the meantime, it is a crazy story, another crazy story in what's been this crazy year in the stock market. On top of all the earnings that happened today, we had good earnings at PayPal. AMD was a bit iffy. We had Starbucks, EA. We had a lot of names reporting today. We had SoFi, one of my biggest holdings. They reported good results. Beat on the top and bottom line, and the shares are trading up about 9%. So hopefully that continues. But anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. Please like and subscribe if you like the content today. And we'll catch you on the next one.